Today in Roadcraft, we're building a road on the last map of the game, Kernel, running through muddy swamps to connect to the archaeologist camp. This one, we're not paving yet. Today, we're pouring the sand to see if we can get a semi down the road. Well guys, today here on Kernel, been making decent progress. I think about halfway done with the map as far as the objectives go. I'm nearing the end of the second goal, I think. Our network of paved roads here extends pretty much everywhere except for one place, and that's where we got to go today to build a road. Yeah, I kind of got paved roads connecting most, well, not connecting everything, but we got paved roads here, you know, connecting to here, and up here. But we are going to need to make a route between this warehouse and the archaeologist camp. Yeah, we got to make a route between here. And there's a lot of underwater sections. Now, the last road that I built, and this was featured in the last video, the last road that I built, they then wanted me to pave a road in the same place. So I actually had to tear up some of my road because it didn't exactly match where they wanted the road paved. So I'd like to avoid that. Now, in doing so, I have done every objective except this. It's the only objective I have left. I wanted to clear out the other objectives, and I was like, well, first, let's do the other objectives. Let's make sure that there's nothing that's going to pop up wanting me to pave a road over where this route goes. And there's not been. But that doesn't mean there won't be. So what we're going to do is, we're going to build this road. We're not going to pave it straight off like we did the other roads, just because, well, it was actually this section of road right here. Yeah, I had it all paved and everything, but it wasn't in exactly the same spot, so we had to tear it up and redo a bunch. Now, I know I didn't have to tear it up and redo it. I could have gotten by with just spreading the sand out some, putting some paving down, making it real, it would have been real ghetto looking, and then it would have completed, and then it would have auto-made it. Yeah, but that wouldn't have made a good video. That would have been doing the laziest possible thing to get by. Anyway, so I do realize I could have done that here. But anyway, so what we're going to do down here for the warehouse to the archaeologist camp is let's build a dirt road and see what kind of route it is. I mean, hey, if they want to send semi-trucks down it, then we're going to need to pave it, but who knows? So we'll start with the dirt road. That's what we're doing today. Should be pretty easy, as 99% of this road is covered by quarry coverage. So that's good. The only part that's not covered by the quarry is just the run up out of the warehouse. Actually, where is look at this route. Okay, it looks like it's coming from the warehouse to the archaeologist camp. So from here, we're going to have to call that semi back. Now here we've got, okay, there's two places I think here where we get this wooden like bridge. You can see there's road options through the swamp. We're going to take those. I don't know how it would be putting dirt over this, so we'll just go through the water there, and then we'll go through the water here. Here, though, well, I guess we'll go over that bridge for now. We'll just see how that works. All right, so we're starting from the route starts from the warehouse. That's what I was looking to see. One thing here on Kernel, I still haven't unlocked the base up at the harbor. I hate to pull up the darn pause menu again, but I've had some of you all say yours isn't unlocked either. I've done everything. I don't know how to unlock this. I don't know. If anyone has an idea, I'd love to hear it. There's some side stuff I can do. None of them say they reward access to it. And in fact, I'm not sure any of these are even up here in this area of the map. I don't know. Many of these just opened recently. Yeah, this base here is one of the first places you go. I mean, like, aside from aside from the first base. Anyway, I haven't found anything yet that unlocked it, so I know some of y'all were wondering too, because I've had some of you say in my comments that you hadn't had it unlocked either. I don't know, but yeah, not unlocked. No clue. If there's an objective that does unlock it, it's not marked as such, and they always are. Okay, so right here, I think this right here is the edge of the quarry. Yep, right here is the edge of the quarry access. So yeah. I'm going to try to, I've been pouring sand for the roads, like, more shallow. You know, just like going faster with the dump truck and putting down less sand, just to get just base coverage. I think it might be the way to go. So what we're going to do here what I'm going to try to do. I mean, that's... the goal is to put down, you know... Yeah, but you see... Okay, you see, we got that. Yeah, that is like the worst job ever. Well, if you've played the game, then you know it's... however fast the dump truck wants to go and however much it accelerates, tips forward and back, that's how much... That's unfortunate. We're going to get our mobile base down here to deploy vehicles. We're going to park it over there, maybe. No, we'll bring it here to the start, because we're going to start... Yeah, there's no sense in doing that. Yeah, we're going to start from this end here and work our way east, so we'll bring it down here where we're at now. First, let's call back this semi. Yeah, I said I was going to pour that all perfectly, and, well, yeah, again, it's... Sometimes you get luckier at that than others. So, yeah, we're going to move this down there so we can call in all our vehicles. I don't want to be sending the, yeah, like the paver and everything. I don't want to send that stuff in one at a time on the back of a flatbed. It takes time. I haven't yet tested the off-road capability of this vehicle, but I would like to. One thing I think is cool about it is the tracks are exactly as long as the vehicle, you know, or longer. Like, there's no real way to get this thing high-centered is what I'm saying. None of the vehicle sticks out beyond the tracks. And if you look underneath the vehicle, there's only about one track width in the middle that's not tracks, leaving very little possibility, it would seem, to get this thing stuck. Unless you could get, I suppose, if you had some deep, steep ridge or something in between the front and rear section of the vehicle, perhaps then you could get it wedged. I bet this thing can go through some tricky places and over some crazy stuff. I don't know. But right now, we're just taking it down here. I mean, yeah, this thing is basically just one big moving solid track. Okay, we'll find a good place to park this so we don't have far to go for our equipment. Where's a good spot? If I could anticipate where it was going to call the vehicles in, you know, maybe if I park it over here, kind of in the water, maybe it'll call the vehicles in on the grass there. I forget to test this. Every time I call a vehicle, I forget to test this. But it seems to me that whenever you call in a vehicle, the direction that you're looking in has something to do with where it calls. Like, I don't know, in like, for instance, in GTA Online, when you call in your car, wherever it calls in your car, it's always not where you're looking. So you look away from where you want it to call it, and that's where it calls it, right? I don't know if it's like that or not. Okay, one issue with this, though... Yeah, we need to, I'm going to flip this around the other way, I think might be the way to do this. In case we need to access that utility of the vehicle. I don't know. Wherever this is parked, it'll probably be there for a minute. I had it parked over there by the logistics place for a while because I don't have access to the harbor base. Having this somewhere in that direction of the map made sense. Okay, back to the dump truck. That's just the thought that I had. Oh, actually, well, we'll use it to haul in our... Let's see where our dozer is. The dozer is pretty quick to move around. Dozer is way over here. No, forget it. We'll just call it in. Okay, so it wants to call it there. Yeah, I always forget to look at this. It wants to call it there. What if I look over there? Nope, that's where it's going to call them. It's going to call them... Why is it always like that? No matter where I... Sorry. The last time I had this thing parked somewhere, it was calling them in the water there, too. I closed the menu and reopened it, and now it's okay, so let's try this. Let's try looking right here. Okay, now it's random because I didn't move the camera that time. All right, so yeah, it's random. So you can just close it and then reopen it, and it calls them in different places. I learn something new every day. Will not call them in the area that's yellow there. I'm not too surprised because that's for resource spawning. May not look like it, but this will work. Well, let's get the bulldozer. I'll show you what I mean here. I'll just go ahead and recall it in. Where'd it call it? Oh, no, but it called it over. Jesus, no. All right, here's my idea. We're going to get a scout vehicle down here and just pull the things out of the water. I should just move the vehicle and see if we can get a different spot. That's ridiculous that every place it wanted to call it was in the water. So that was a huge waste. That was a huge, giant waste. I can't even tow it. I don't fight fair, I fight back. There we go. What do you think about that? This is what we do. It wants to call the vehicles in the water? Okay, fine. let it call the vehicles in the water. This thing might be a little heavy for this thing. Yeah, but it'll do it. It'll work. So the crane thing works, but ultimately we're just going to want to move the mobile base vehicle into a different spot, I guess, and just keep trying until it hauls stuff on the actual surface. The crane works, it's fine, but the vehicles we need to get out here are some of the heaviest that we have. This bulldozer is no slouch. It's pretty heavy. The crane had problems lifting it out of the water, and it's going to be the same, but the paver and the roller, which obviously we'll also want to use the thing for. This pouring, so back to this pouring here, which we got sidetracked from. Yeah, it's really uneven. I want to use the bulldozer on it some here to see where, you know, we're probably going to want some more sand, because this came down really, as soon as I started pouring it, I'm sure you've had this happen to you too. The thing started getting real jerky on me. The acceleration was not there, and then it was, and then it wasn't. And that's how we got this sand all messed up like this. Well, it's usually best, I don't remember if I was at a stop when I started pouring the sand or not. You usually want to, you know, have the vehicle rolling, which can kind of help prevent some of that jerkiness off the start, you know, and it also helps prevent that, you know, all of it coming out in one bunch at first too. I was probably starting from a standstill or something stupid, but I think this made one mostly, I think it's fine. I think this will be fine. Good enough anyway. For this run, we're going to try to do this a little better. Already got it rolling. So just kind of start putting some down here. And that should be better. That's kind of what I was looking for the first time. Let's see how that smooths out here. Yeah, we're just going to start this route off. Yeah, so I spoke of getting the paver down here. Yeah, eventually, but for now, we are just going to do this route in dirt. Because I foresee, this looks like a road that they would want us to pave part of. Let's see if we can stretch this sand out here just a little bit over this part. Because if they send the right truck, then it will absolutely get stuck there in that little patch of dirt. The right truck would absolutely get stuck there. That sucks that I'm kind of surprised I couldn't stretch that out there. Alright, so we're going to see if we can just put just a dollop of sand right here. Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that. You know what would be ideal? Is if we could get it to slosh some. How do you think we could... I know how we could do that. If we can tip the truck up on that rock right there, it might just slosh out just enough. I'm actually hoping for the truck to slosh some sand out this time. Wonder if that was enough. Oh, that's enough. That's enough for sure. Problem is, in the midst of that, yeah, of course, the thing got stuck. I mean, I don't know if this truck can pull out a full dump truck. Yeah, I don't know if I can pull it out. Let's try pulling it out this way. All right, another idea. Got another idea here. Let's just pull this up out of the way. We're gonna run the bulldozer here, and maybe we can just dislodge it off that rock. Because I tipped it up on the rock, and that part did work. It tipped out just enough sand to cover this part. Maybe if we just give it a little tappy tap with our blade here, it'll dislodge it just enough. Yeah. That was the ticket. All right, let's get this guy back here. Get our sand smoothed over. And then now we're done with this stretch of road. I don't know why I didn't just put the mobile base up there. It seems to me that, like, that would... Let's just do that. I guess, I don't know. Looking at it, this made sense, but then just now I was up there and I was like, you know, we could just... You know, the road starts from the warehouse. Why don't we just put the... Yeah, call up our vehicles at the start of the road. Didn't occur to me. Yeah, we'll just park this guy up here. This is the obvious, completely safe place to call in our vehicles. I don't think we'll need resource access. I don't know if we'll get it here or not since we're on no, we will. Yeah, well, perfect place to park it. Now we can get about our business. All right, off we go. Yeah, I'd like to see in the future, I'd like to see a dumping mode, you know. Pretty much all of y'all agree. Everyone said that in the comments, yeah. I mean, it's a pretty... I think it's pretty easy to agree that, yeah, it'd be great if the truck had a dump mode, you know. Nothing that does automatically like the AI road pouring, but just like the bulldozer has sand flattening mode, right? So this would just have a mode where it would just tip the bed back. See, it would avoid that. It would tip it back in line with your speed. Yeah. But no, we're just going to have to fight this because it doesn't have that mode. Yeah, the hard fact is it doesn't have that mode. So we're going to have to just fight this all the way across this water. But I have made roads across deep water sections, as you probably have too. So, yeah, it's just going to be... we're just going to have to put down a lot of sand. Just put down so much sand that it pushes... There we go. We'll just tip it all the way back, right? And that way the force of the sand coming out pushes the dump truck forward. There we go. I mean, through the deep sections, pretty much, right? Okay, is this where we want the road? Kind of. We want it... The cool part is, this is making it way faster. That we can refill sand in range makes it faster by a factor of several. As in, you know, 3 or even 5 times as fast when you can refill the sand on the spot. Because it's not just about going to where you have to get sand. It's not just about, you know, if we couldn't refill sand here, it's not just about, oh, we have to drive X distance to get sand. It's that usually you have to backtrack over where you've been to get sand. It's how, like, almost every road I've made, particularly here in Kernel, there's been a lot of roads I've had to make where there's no sand coverage. And most of the roads I've made where there's no sand coverage, I have to backtrack over where I poured to get more, which means that I have to hop in the bulldozer and level that out, right? And then swap back to the dump truck and backtrack over it, and then etc. And it slows you way, way down. It slows you way down. But we don't have to do that. We can pretty much just jump the gun, pour all the way. There's probably some spots where it missed. It was horrible, horrible pouring through there. There's places where it had the truck actually... There was one place the truck actually bounced into the air. I was pouring, you know, sand in the water, and yeah, I don't know, something caused the dump truck to fly up both tracks. Literally airborne, and then landed again, dumping the entire load in one spot. That's really handy. I'm just trying to figure out, why did I put it... There must have been 2 paths here, because I know I poured this on a path. Well, we'll see. We're going to take the blade over it and see how it comes out. Let's see if we can expand this dirt pile here. Kind of in... If I can. I try to do this at junctions. Like here we have a turn, you know? So I try to expand it out, you know, in different directions. Try to widen it. So we have a wider, you know, radial for the turn. Alright, let's follow this road down here and see what we got. See where we need more sand. I don't know. Probably some places. It was super inconsistent all along here. Let's see. Yeah, right here. This first place we hit the water. Yeah, threw the truck for a loop. I'll be sure to... We'll make a few passes. I'm going to come back down at 2. Push it the other way. I'm going to push it back and forth a little bit. See if we can get it to even out some. So far, we have a consistent road surface, I think. These always come out better than you think they're going to. You know, all these humps of sand, they always seem to smooth out decently well. Unless the gap between them is too big. This, even though I've done this a lot of times, I'm surprised by how good this is coming out. It felt really bad. There, I think we've got a gap. Let's see. Do we? No, actually. No, it did. It stretched that gap. That's surprising. I like these kinds of roads right here where it's just water on both sides. They look cool when they're done. If they're nice and neat, they look cool. Now, how much farther do we have to go is the question. And I don't know what kind of trucks they're going to send on this route. But we're going to do it dirt all the way. Because I intend on, you know, the theme here in Kernel is we're paving everything. Well, not every, we're paving a network of roads at least. So this is going to be paved. So I may as well put dirt on the whole thing. It'll be paved eventually. But really, just for running a route, we could probably get by with just spanning that right there. But, you know, we'll put dirt. All right, let's go back the other way. Yeah, look at that. This looks pretty, fairly, I mean, it needs to be flattened out. It needs to be, you know, leveled. And it's still not perfect, but it's a lot better than it felt bouncing around in that dump truck. It looks a lot better than it felt. You know, I'm hoping this levels that out more evenly. But, I mean, it could scoop the low places out more. Yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't scoop the low places out. I'm hoping it levels it out more evenly, but I don't know. Let's see, how's it look? Kind of looks mostly the same-ish. Yeah. I'm going to try to give us more road on the inside of this. I'd like this if this was a straight, you know, more straight here. So if we can keep the blade on the inside and push some sand towards the inside, widen it. Yeah, widen it towards the inside here. We might need some more sand here in the kind of in the inside of the elbow of this corner, but this here looks good. It's so looking from above, here's our road. It's well, it's a road, it's a trail. These rocks here, you know, if you're, yeah, you can use if you're in a tracked vehicle, yeah, a fun little trick you can do is you can, push rocks around with the tracks by just, spinning it in place. You can kind of sweep rocks off of the road. Yeah, what we'll do is we're going to cut this road on the inside. Now, if it does want us to pave roads out here, and this is one of the places it wants to pave, oh well, we're taking our road on the inside of the curve. Wait, is there any other places where, you know, that occurs to me. If we're pouring a road now, it's pretty much a straight shot to where we're going. Yeah, that didn't occur to me. Well, it's been pretty straight. Yeah, I was looking to see if there was any places where there was like a deep curve that we could just completely cut out, but there's not. Yeah, the idea at the beginning was to make a very, you know, shallow road, but it doesn't always work out that way on terrain like this. On terrain like this, the thing just wants to bounce around and dump its load faster. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's just not predictable at all. And then, yeah. So I guess we're just going to dump right over this wood bridge. Now, the problem with this wood bridge is it's going to cause us to bounce around a lot. From my experience driving over these, I don't know. Let's see how this goes. No, yeah, it was actually pretty smooth. That's crazy because every time I've driven over these, like I drove over this with the Karelian, the Vostok, other tracked vehicles, they bounce up and down like crazy. But yeah, I didn't bounce. So we want to take a straight line right through here. See if I can get a moving start to it. Straight line right up here. Wow, that came out pretty smooth. I gotta say, that came out pretty darn smooth. That might be enough to send the route. Yeah, that one section's underwater. Why don't we go grab the bulldozer and see how that smooths out? That section there, it felt smooth coming out of the thing. Let's see. Where's our bulldozer? All right, so I'm going to do, I guess, a third trip up the road. May as well. No, actually, no, I don't want to overdo it. My experience, yeah, we're just going to drive up there with this. My experience is the sand, and tell me if you've had a different experience in the comments down below. My experience is that if I were to run this over this again, it might scoop out some of the shallower places. Like, see here, this right here. Now it's just kind of one, it did kind of go in and out of the water, but now it just kind of got one place where it's underwater. My experience is if I run this over that, I might wallow that out more, so we're just going to drive this up here. It seems to me there's been times where, going up rises, it has pushed sand, you know, like when it hits an incline, it digs in and then drags sand up with it, creating a divot at the bottom, you know? And so I generally only want to go over the road one, you know, maybe twice, once each way to push the sand each direction. So we're going to cut through here, see how this looks. This all the sand on this part came out way more evenly. In a lot of places it came out really fast, but at least it came out evenly on like pretty much everything we've been pouring here. Kind of off center on the bridge, but I don't guess that matters because we got our own bridge here, right? Now, let's see. It's probably right under the surface of the water, or did I actually lose sand dumpage? No, I think we lost all sand dumping there. Yeah, we're gonna have to put some more. Yeah, and we need some there too. We need to get up over these logs. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and dump what's in the truck and then go over there because I don't want to be spilling my whole load of sand on the way over there. It'll just be frustrating. Because driving over this to get there will cause it to start dumping all over the place. Alright, so we're going to get this parked right about here-ish, but I want to get it kind of level. There we go. Now, let's see if we can kind of dump this somewhat. Nope. That's alright. Yeah, it's... That might actually... You know what? That might actually be good, except for one spot. We definitely want to cover these logs. We've got to cover these logs with it. So right here. Put some there. And right here. You know what we're going to do? We're just going to rotate this like this. I never use this function, but this is the perfect spot for it right here. Right there. There we go. Now the trick with this dump truck, if you have this dump truck, when you rotate the truck, I'm using a controller. Always pull down on the stick when you rotate it. Rotate it with the stick circling around the bottom part of this, you know, the socket on the controller. Because otherwise, that'll happen. Yeah, you gotta love when they put two axes on the same stick, don't you? Yeah, yeah. So, word of the wise there. If you rotate the truck, hold the stick down while you do it. I don't know what I would do without this truck. I sometimes forget that this truck is like, you know, DLC. I can't remember if it came with the pre-order of the game or if it came with my... I got one vehicle for pre-ordering the game and one vehicle because I basically pre-ordered the DLC. I don't remember which one gave me that truck, but I don't know what I would do without that dump truck. I'd have to be using that big sloppy one that spills everywhere, I guess. Oh, man. All right, let's see how this smooths out. Let's take this down here. I think it'll be pretty good. Let's see how this looks. We want this to just cover the logs. I think... I don't know, the blade was... maybe you couldn't see it. The blade was getting caught in the logs. The blade's getting caught in the logs. Yeah, pouring over a bridge, slightly problematic. It made it, though, but it was getting caught, but it made it. There's just a ridge here in the middle of the road for some reason. I can't figure out because I came down the middle of the road. Alright, I think that's probably good enough. Alright, let's take us back the other way. Yeah, there's a place there where there's logs peeking through. Let's see. Yeah, let's pull the blade up. Let's only put it down. Yeah, because I think that's fine. We could use more sand there, but I think that's fine. I mean, we can pave that. I've paved submerged bits of sand before. There we go. That should be fine right there. Yeah, let's try that. Yeah, it looks good. I haven't even smoothed it yet, and it looks okay, honestly. It looks kind of good right now. This is taking time for a dirt road, which is in range of a quarry. This is taking a minute. Let's see, how does that look? Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, let's continue on. Well, you know, we could send the route right now because this is pretty decent dirt surface the rest of the way. Depends what kind of trucks they'll send. Let's see. If we have a look at this from the map, we just need to go up this right here, and then I believe it's right here. No, up here. Why don't we, why don't we just see what kind of trucks they're going to send our way? If I was doing this by myself, if I wasn't recording this, if it was just me, I would just sit here and finish the entire road. But let's see what kind of trucks it gives us. I'm going to finish the road regardless. I'm going to finish it. But let's see what we get. Let's mix it up here. Warehouse, archaeologist camp, start plot. Oh, that's right. I got to plot the route. You ever do that? I forget sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, we have to plot the route. Oh wait, is this junk that we're going to have to move? I'm going to drive over it. See what happens. So one thing I've been doing with the turns, in a recent video I was doing a plot, I was plotting a route, and I said some of the, you know, things that I had tried, and you guys added some of your own input. I read all your comments. I'm going to try what I've been doing for the last couple of routes is basically building it like a racing line, you know, like if I was on a racetrack, you know, trying to keep, come at a turn a little wider, put the apex of the turn kind of in the inside of the turn, like a race car would take it, right? To give the trucks more room to turn, of course. And that's been working. I've been putting fewer points in the straights, but then when I get to the turns, kind of keeping them to the inside, you know, like this. It worked on the last route. And the last route had a lot of... The last route I did ran from the south tunnel to the, I don't know, over by the base over there in North Lock Village. And it had a few 90-degree turns in it. And it sent semis, and it still ran fine, because I kept the turns to the inside. Now, if it sends us a semi, we'll just have to, I mean, we're going to have to pave it. But who knows what we'll get, right? So, let's send this up here, and then we want to go, yeah, right here. All right, and here is the finish. Let's see what we get. All right, first truck is, well, at least we know what we're doing today. Let's follow the semi, but looks like we're paving the road, guys. You know, we'll see what we got here. Yeah, that turn could be... Yeah. How often do you see a semi come out in the lead? That one route that I did in Deluge, the first route you runs a semi. Runs semis and only semis on that route. Wow, that thing drug that barrel all the way out there. I mean, it could traverse this. I doubt it. It's only traversing this dirt because it's going downhill. The second this has to, like, lose its momentum, I wager it gets stuck. Might actually pull out of that. No, it's probably going to back up, get stuck again, and cancel out. Well, you know, it looks like it might actually traverse this dirt. Like, if I redo that line, I think this truck has a shot. It's actually moving on the dirt better than I thought. Let's see how it does up here. I mean, usually when you see a semi, you got to, you know, it's got to be paved. Is it because this one's heavier or something? It's getting more traction? I don't know, but this one's getting better traction than I usually see on semis. So I was wrong about that. I was wrong about needing pavement for the semi. But we might have to take our dirt all the way. It might not travel on their dirt, you know. It might need our sand, our hard-packed sand. I should have seen this coming. Come to think of it, I believe it said in the objective that they were sending there, among other things, gasoline. So I could have foreseen that they'd be sending a tanker truck. I didn't see it that way. So here's the wooden bridge. Yeah, I think it'll go over this just fine. A little sticky up pointing log there, but nah, it doesn't matter. The question is, once it gets off our sand, I don't think it'll make it. I don't think it'll travel under its own power through this. Wait, let's see. Oh, it got hung up, but then it kind of moved. I can't see it making it through this. I can't see this happening. No way, a semi? This is in complete juxtaposition to like everything that I've seen so far on this map. Remember, do you remember our first route here in Kernel, where it ran off-road trucks, and they were getting stuck in mud like this. And they were the big, you know, like deuce and a half military off-road trucks, and they were getting stuck. Okay, so it did get stuck here. I mean, yeah, I didn't think it'd make it through this. It made it farther than I thought through this. You know, the first route we ran here, it ran off-road trucks, and they got stuck, and it was ridiculous. Well, okay, no issue. I mean, this is no problem. We're just gonna, hey, I was prepared to, yeah, we're gonna pave it all anyway. So, we're gonna pour sand up here. And of course, always remember, after we pour the sand and smooth it, we're going to want to recheck our route and line it up with the road, you know? Make sure that it follows our road. Here, the sand is coming up pretty good. We got a smooth surface here. Yeah, I've been able to do some good sand pouring here on this smooth surface. Although, a couple minutes ago, I had a problem with the bed on my dump truck kept hanging open. There's a couple places where it dumped my whole load in one spot because, I don't know, maybe an issue with my controller, but the bed got held open. Yeah, all the more reason why we need a sand pouring mode because, yeah, this is really almost impossible to, you know, it's just eyeballing it, 100% eyeballing it all the way, and that was too much. And like that was way more sand than I've been putting, but there's no way to measure except just kind of tap the throttle and. But this is sand all the way. Do you think we need some right here too? I bet. Yeah, I say let's take it as far as it'll let us. Let's take it as far as it'll let us because I could just see that semi getting to right there, and then those two rear axles just sink into that puddle, and it just comes to a stop. I could totally see that. And close it real quick before it gets stuck open and dumps. I could just see it dumping right, like I can't pour sand there, right? So I could just see it just all piling up on the edge of that zone or something. I expect the worst. I expect the worst because weird things happen. Okay, that's why. All right, let's go get our blade here. We got it poured all the way. We'll see how it looks from street level here once it's flat. Yeah, right here, my bed got stuck open. I couldn't close it. I had to take my hand off the controller and repress the left shoulder button. I don't know what that was about. Most of this came out really consistently, though, because the ground is nice and flat here. There's good traction. The ground is flat. So I was able to keep a steady speed with the dump truck. And yeah, this all came out really, this is the best pour we've done, but that's because, yeah, there's no, yeah, the ground here is flat, there's no bumps. And this section is longer than it felt like. The dump went pretty fast because it was so smooth, but this is longer than it felt like it was. All right, this should get the truck here now. I didn't go back over it. I'm not sure I want to. Let's see how the truck does. Well, first, let's get this off the route here. First, let's check and make sure the route follows our road. We might have to reshape some of it. All right. Yeah, I want to reshape some of this. Yeah, this semi, I don't know. I've always had problems with them driving on, you know. But hey, this guy's doing good. I wanted to, yeah, like I said, probably said at the beginning of the video, I wanted to make this dirt first because it seems to me there's sections of the road here that look like the kind of sections it would want us to pave, you know, via an objective later on. Okay, if it goes off there, that's a simple route correction. We can just move it away from the inside there. Actually, the route isn't that far on the inside, only a little bit. See, the truck's actually turning inside of the route. The truck's, yeah. See, I put the line on the inside of the turn, but the truck actually went inside of my line, so I wouldn't say it's my fault. Is it going to get through that? I didn't think it was going to. No, it's definitely... What I'll do is I'll just add another point to this. Here, I'll just cancel the route. That truck's not going to make it. Now here's the problem, though. If we modify this section, the truck's going to start back here. That's always the problem. When you modify a turn, sometimes the semi will start at the previous point, right? And sometimes it has them spawning mid-turn, and when they do, they'll be pointing straight ahead. But I don't think there'll be a problem here. This is kind of straight, so putting a point here, I think that might be all it needs right there. And now if I move this out, the truck's going to spawn back here. I think that would be fine. Why don't we see if it makes this? Because when you start modifying turns, it spawns further and further back, and then you got to correct it further back. Next thing you know, you're redoing half the route. There we go. Yeah. All that needed was one little extra point. And it may not send a semi. In fact, I would say this most likely does not send a semi the next run. The last route I did here, it was sending random vehicles between sometimes a scout vehicle, sometimes a semi, sometimes a mule. There we go. All right.
The guys at Northlock should just move to a different place. Judging by the number of problems they have, they must have built
well, let's see what she has to say here.
Ancient burial grounds or something. Now it's water that's giving them trouble. Of two kinds, no less. On one hand, their water supply is out. So you'll need to check if the local pump station is still in the same reality as us. On the other, the village is in constant danger of being flooded. So they've been relying on a concrete pier. Won't even ask you to guess what was damaged by the quake. And
strengthen the pier.
You'll need
Where's that
quite
at?
a few concrete slabs to do it. And luckily, there's a convoy carrying them at the eastern tunnel. It needs a route to deliver those to the nearest warehouse, though. So you'll need to take care of that.
Maybe this will...
And get some eggs and sugar. I'm joking.
Anything else, Your Highness? All right, I'm hoping this opens a concrete facility sometime soon. Yeah, one of the recent objectives I had to get concrete slabs, and it occurred to me that nowhere on here do I have the concrete place yet. So I bought them at the construction depot. It'd be nice if we could unlock those. So let's check out our route. Did it send a truck already? Yeah, it did, and it's not a semi. Yeah, it's going to be random vehicles then. Well, maybe not. This time it's a van. But it sent one semi, so if it sends semis, it should hold up. All right, so we got a route here for now. I'll pave that later. Well, that's... that was adventurous for just a dirt road, especially all that trouble right at the start. And that first leg took forever, you know. Kept calling the vehicles, getting stuck in the water and all kinds of stuff. I mean, but, you know, once we got set up, it went quicker and quicker and quicker until the end. I'm going to continue on here, guys. Thanks so much for following along today. Be sure to tell me what you think in the comments down below. And subscribe and follow along for more. If you enjoy the content, hit that like button and let me know. All right? Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. And I'll see you back probably tomorrow. Back here in Roadcraft, maybe Farming Simulator. Let me know what you think. Thanks, guys. Peace out. No, wait. Oh, really? That was a van. Hold up, guys. What happened? Right when I'm... Yeah, that was excellent timing, wasn't it? That was a fluke. We're going to call that a fluke. Oh. Yeah, you know what he did? He just ran off and, here, just bump that over at that. He just... You know what happened? I bet he slipped off right here, actually. I bet he slipped off right here. Over that hump. Got him in the mud, and you know how those trucks do? Yeah. All right, let's see what it gives us here. Another van. All right, well, I'm gonna keep an eye on this guy, and I'll fix anything that he gets stuck in. Guys, thanks a lot. This time, for sure, I'm signing off. I'll catch you next time. All right, peace out.